Good afternoon, TikTok. All right, we've got another module in today. This is a instrument cluster off an Audi A4 B8. So this is the Magneti Morelli version of this cluster. As you can see, that's what the fascia cover looks like. Now, what we've got this instrument cluster in for is we're going to try and read all the data off this and clone it onto a donor board. I'm going to keep this scrap cluster as well for spare parts because there is still parts on this that are good. All right, now what we've got hooked up here, this is how we pin out to modules on the bench. So we've got our breakout box hooked up with the ignition and 12 volt power there. I've got a 60 ohm resistor across the CAN network to allow us to communicate as well. And as you can see, we've got our power, ground, CAN high and CAN low hooked up. So this cluster is on and live at the minute. If you have a look, here's all our data. So we've got our Volkswagen Audi part number, software version, etc, etc. It's all there. So we can hook this up now, and I'm going to strip the rest of the cluster. Now I know that it communicates and everything's fine. I can get all the details, VIN number, we can read all the data from it and save it, and then we'll keep this cluster as a spare part. All right, so cluster's flipped around. As you can see now, one common issue I wanted to mention on these is these LCD screens. Now we can actually supply and fit these. They're quite simple to fit because they do just pull out and they actually plug straight in, but these screens are a very common failure point. If all your wiring up to the cluster's good and you've got a dead screen, then we can source these and get them replaced. They're not the cheapest, but they're a lot cheaper than a new cluster. I think $400 or $500 or something like that for a quality one fitted, whereas new clusters are well over $1,300-$1,400 plus programming, coding and adaptions. So we're going to get the rest of this board apart and then see what data we can get out of this unit to write over onto a donor one. All right, TikTok, continuing with the Audi dash. As you can see, I just wanted to show everyone the scale of some of this work that we do. So if you look at the size of these solder joints, we've got resistors wired in all over the board. You know, everything has to be soldered under a microscope because it's that small to individual pins of this processor. So we've got our data dump out of it. I've virginized it, written it back in, it's all done, but I thought people might find it interesting to sort of see the scale of some of the stuff we're working with. So we've just got to desolder this, put it all back together, and then this one's job done as well.